Hey everyone, Wolf Lord Rho here. Today we discuss the original Betrayal by Luther, with the act that led to his banishment back to Caliban. A spoiler warning to begin, as the events we're discussing today are from the Horus Heresy story Descent of Angels by author Mitchel Scanlon. As always, I really recommend you read the stories for yourself first, without spoilers, as that's the best way to enjoy the lore for yourself. But with that said, let's just jump straight in. The legend of Luther's betrayal of Lionel Johnson is one that varies depending on the teller. Listen to any true son of the Lion, and it's clear Luther allowed himself to be corrupted by chaos, consumed with jealousy, allying with the likes of Typhus, and firing first upon El Johnson's fleet as it returned to Caliban. Listen to One of the Fallen, and it was El Johnson who betrayed them, casting them back to Caliban needlessly, and him firing first upon the homeworld. We know the issue of who fired first is pretty much resolved now, confirmed to have been the traitors upon Caliban, with El Johnson then responding in force. However, the truth is, the seed of betrayal was made long before the events of Caliban's destruction. In fact, before even the Horus Heresy. And today, we're going to discuss why. It took place on a world named Sarosh, with the Dark Angels Legion taking over its compliance from the White Scars. The people of Sarosh had appeared to accept the Imperium from the very beginning, and it had been an entirely peaceful transition. However, there was still a sense of misgiving from a White Scar named Kyrgyz in conversation with his Dark Angel counterpart Zahariel, warning Zahariel not to trust them. And it would be during a reception for some of Sarosh's government officials aboard the Invincible Reason, the Lion's flagship, that warning would become prophecy. As El Johnson met with the dignitaries, Zahariel remained upon the embarkation deck, surprised by the presence of Luther, sworn brother of El Johnson and second in command of the Legion, where Luther would then suggest they take a look at the ancient Saroshi shuttle. Apparently the Mechanicum adepts scanned it on the way in. They said it was of an obsolete design, well known from before the unification wars on Terra, so they immediately lost interest. Ah, well, they are immune to the romance of history, Zahariel, said Luther, walking around the battered shuttle with its oversized engines and bulbous front section. I mean, it's clearly thousands of years old. It must have taken generations of mechanics to keep it in a working state of repair. Then it should be in a museum, said Zahariel, as Luther ducked beneath a stubby wing and examined the underside of the conveyance. Perhaps, agreed Luther. It's the last functioning relic of an earlier age. It might be the only vehicle on Sarosh still capable of trans-atmospheric travel. So why bother using it? Asked Zahariel. Why not accept the Lion's offer of a Stormbird? Who knows, said Luther, frowning as he saw something puzzling. Perhaps the Saroshi kept it running because they knew they would need it in the future. Need it for what? Luther emerged from beneath the shuttle on the far side from Zahariel, and he could see that the Legion's second in command had gone utterly pale. His face was ashen, and he looked at the shuttle with a strange expression that Zahariel could not read. Is everything all right? Asked Zahariel. Said Luther, glancing towards the great arched doors that the Lion and the Saroshi delegation had earlier passed through. Oh, yes, Zahariel. Sorry, I was distracted. "Are you sure?" asked Zahariel. "You don't look well, my lord." "I'm fine, Zahariel," said Luthor. "Now come on, return to your battle brothers. It's not good to be too far from your fellows when you might be about to go into battle. It's bad luck, you know." "But I have things to finish here," protested Zahariel. "Never mind them," insisted Luthor, leading him from the embarkation deck. "Go, be with your company, and stay there until I call for you. Do you understand me?" "Yes, my lord," said Zahariel, though in truth, he could not fathom the sudden change in Luthor's behaviour. And there it is. The moment the jealousy of Luthor overwhelmed his loyalty. "Oh, yes, Zahariel. Sorry, I was distracted." Luthor saw something amiss when he was under the shuttle. He saw the truth of the Sorashi betrayal, a nuclear bomb, and Zahariel can immediately tell something is amiss. The sudden change in his commander clear. "Is everything all right? Are you sure?" Again and again, Zahariel inquires what's wrong, giving Luthor a chance to reveal the treachery, the danger faced to not only the Primarch, but the Legion too. Yet the wheels have already begun to turn in Luthor's mind. That jealousy racing to the surface, shattering the bonds of loyalty, the years of brotherhood and friendship. "Never mind that," insisted Luthor. "Go, be with your company, and stay there until I call for you. Do you understand me?" Immediately, this is Luthor putting plans in place. For the Lion's death. His closest brother. His closest friend. This is no mere split-second hesitation that Luthor claims it would be. No mere moment of understanding. This is reactionary, yes, but it is also, undoubtedly, cold-blooded and very calculating. Luthor is choosing not to reveal the bomb. And worse, not only is he actively lying about it too, he's even helping the Sorashi carry out their treachery. This, for me, really shows how hollow Luthor's protests to the Supreme Grand Masters truly are. However, such was the dramatic change in Luthor's behaviour, so sudden and out of character, Zahariel just couldn't get it out of his mind. The image of Luthor's face as he emerged from beneath the shuttle. His immediate orders for Zahariel to leave. And so Zahariel realises something is terribly wrong, and he decides to head back to the embarkation deck, despite Luthor's orders. Investigating the Sorashi shuttle, Zahariel finds that it's missing the heat shielding needed for a return to the surface, clearly revealing that they have no intent to do so, that this was a one-way trip. And then, breaking open an access hatch, Zahariel found a strange blinking device hidden inside. "It's a weapon of some sort," said a voice behind him. "An atomic warhead, I think." Zahariel spun, his fist raised to strike the speaker. Luthor stood before him, his face a mask of anguish and regret. "An atomic warhead?" asked Zahariel. "Yes," said Luthor, coming closer and peering into the opened access panel. "I think the whole shuttle is nothing but one giant missile." "You knew of this," said Zahariel. "Why didn't you say anything?" Luther turned away from him, his shoulders slumped as though in defeat. He turned back to Zahariel, who was shocked to see tears in his commander's eyes. "I almost did, Zahariel," said Luther. "I wanted to, but then I thought of what would be mine if I didn't. The Legion, Command, Caliban. It would all be mine, and I would no longer have to share it with someone whose shadow obscures everything I do." "The Lion," said Zahariel. "His deeds are great, but so are yours." "Maybe in another age," said Luther, "one in which I did not share the same span of time as a man like the Lion. In any other age, the glory of leading Caliban from the darkness would have been mine, but instead it goes to my brother. You have no idea how galling it is to be the greatest man of the age and have that taken from you in an instant." And wow. Now you may see sympathy for Luther here, but I see an unbelievable arrogance. You have no idea how galling it is to be the greatest man of the age and have that taken from you in an instant. That isn't Zahariel calling Luther the greatest man of his age. That's Luther declaring himself it. What happened to the virtue of humbleness, of humility? As Zahariel declares Luther still great in his own right, Luther only sees the spotlight, the glory going to another. That one comment reveals the truth buried within him, the fatal character flaw, the opening to Chaos's later corruption: jealousy. Simple human jealousy, all spawned from an unbelievable arrogance. Zahariel watched the words flow from Luther in a flood. For a decade and more, these feelings had been contained within a dam of honour and restraint. But the dam was crumbling, and Luther's true feelings were spilling out. "I never realised," said Zahariel, his hand sliding towards his sword. "No one did. No, even I did not. Not fully," said Luther. "Not until I saw this shuttle. I wouldn't have to lift a finger. All I would have to do is walk away, and everything I wanted would be mine. Then why are you back here?" "I ordered everyone out of the embarkation deck and walked away," said Luther, one hand covering his eyes as he spoke. "But I hadn't gone more than a few steps before I knew I couldn't do it." "Then you're here to stop it?" asked Zahariel, relieved beyond words. "I am," nodded Luther. "So you can stop reaching for your blade. I realised that it was an honour to serve a warrior as great as the Lion, and that I was the luckiest man alive to be allowed to call him brother." Zahariel turned back to the shuttle and the deadly cargo it contained. "Then how do we stop it?" So this is the reason for the claims of a second's hesitation, a mere moment. However, we can see the truth. It was far more than that. Not only did Luther force Zahariel to leave, denying his questions, but he then ordered everyone to leave the embarkation deck as well. And then he began to walk away. I don't know about you, but I can certainly understand why the Lion would banish someone for this so-called moment of hesitation, because it was far, far more than that. And the truth is, L. Johnson has killed people for worse. Now, just how the lion finds out is a discussion for another day. You heard Luther confess his inner feelings of jealousy there. So convincing, so damning, that Zahariel was prepared to draw his blade. Yes, Luther changed his mind, came to his senses in grief, and he deserves credit for that. But the question you have to ask yourself is, could you ever trust someone who had done that again? A brother you trusted more than any other, who had then found a bomb intended to kill you and chose not to reveal it. In fact, actually lying about it and then ordering everyone else away so it wouldn't be found. I don't think that brooch of trust could ever be repaired. And honestly, how could Caliban's fate not have been set after this moment? Whether Luther was sent back to Caliban or remained by the lion's side, were the seeds of destruction not already sown right here? Would this jealousy of Luther's have evaporated with the First Legion going on to ever greater success, with the lion's name rising to rival Horus Lupercal's, or now, once exposed, listened to, allowed, would that jealousy only ever fester below the surface, biding its time until it emerged once more? That is a question for you to answer. As always everyone, what do you think? A huge thank you to all my subscribers. Your support truly means a lot to me, it really does. If you're new, please consider subscribing to help the channel grow. And if you enjoyed this particular vid, then why not drop a like on it too. But with that said, I am off, and I'll see you all again real soon.